lovelies, how's it going? Hope all is well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about Miss Tika Sumpter and why the Root decided to ask her to explain the reverse and Viv effect that happened with Mixish.
Mom, what's going on?
Back in May, people had a lot of questions because Rainbow's mother was originally portrayed by Anna Smith. If you didn't notice, Anna Smith was a light-skinned woman, and people started to side-eye once Tika Sumpter was cast as Rainbow's mother for the upcoming series because she is a darker-skinned woman. So people were saying it's the complete opposites, and while the fact of it being comforting to some people, others felt like it was quite off. So if you guys don't know what Mixish is about, it's basically about the early years of Rainbow Johnson as she recounts her experiences growing up in a mixed race family in the 1980s. The family faces dilemmas over whether they should assimilate or stay to themselves when Rainbow's parents moved from a hippie commune to the suburbs in 1985.
Because back in 1970, when we went to the commune, it wasn't accepted. The Loving Act hadn't been passed until 67, but it was still new for this to work.
And the Loving Act, if anybody doesn't know, is when interracial couples or whoever could get married were allowed to get married. So it was against the law.
And so even then, though, you know, even after it passed, in the story, our family and friends were not accepting of it. And so we ran from that and went to a commune where it was kumbaya and it was, you know, free love and whatnot.
Now, the mother was not the only person that was recast. The father was recast as well, but both of them feel like they fit the roles very well, and they said that it was very natural for them to go into these roles.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, when we read together, I knew, you know, and I said something and was very vocal about it.
Well, it feels natural because the material's so organic.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel forced, and it's rooted like we talked about. So everything that we do on set just comes naturally.
Now, recasting happens all the time. It's nothing new when it comes to TV shows. That's just how it is. Even movies are like this. But the issue a lot of people have with the show Blackish is the fact that they feel like anytime colorism is involved or when it's about lighter or dark skin, they tend to be tone deaf. In my opinion, the reason why I felt like they wanted to add someone darker skin on the cast is because of all the heat that they were getting throughout their Blackish seasons. A lot of people were saying the show was already Mixish, so I think that's why they added Tika. But Tika has been very vocal with saying that she's never even experienced some issues that us dark-skinned women go through.
Honestly, it breaks my heart to hear all these stories, but I didn't. You know, I grew up in a household with 5 siblings at the time, and all lighter than me, way lighter than me. My mother's lighter than me. But she never made me feel inadequate or less than any of my siblings. Actually, my mother tells me the story all the time about when I was born. My father's dark skin. And when I came out, he was like, finally, someone who looks like me. And it was an exciting thing. And my sister, who's lighter than me, remembers when I came home, and she tells me every year on my birthday, she calls me up and she says, I was sitting on the couch and everybody was doting on you, you know? And so I never felt less than. So even growing up and you know, getting into this business, I always felt like, well, yeah, of course you're gonna like me. Oh, I need curly hair? Okay, let me take these braids out. I never felt like, wow, the light-skinned girl, she's gonna get all the boys. Growing up, I was like, yeah, of course I'm cute. Of course I'm gonna be the first Black cheerleader in my high school. Of course I'm gonna be the president of my class 3 years in a row. Like, that's just what I thought it was. I was never made to feel less than. And it starts at home. It really does.
So there's a lot of girls that just could not relate to Tika when it comes to her talking about dark-skinned women issues. Now, of course, everybody is not going to face colorism blatantly in their face, but what you fail to realize is the statistics and what it proves that dark-skinned women have to go through when it comes to school, when it comes to their jobs, when it comes to their communities, way beyond someone saying you're not pretty enough or you're not pretty or you are pretty as a dark-skinned girl. It's issues that are beyond surface level, but if you don't care to research it or if you don't care to think about those issues, then you will always be ignorant to what colorism really is. is. Now, Grapevine did ask her how did she feel about the reverse Aunt Viv effect, and this is what she said.
I don't know if it's reverse Aunt Viv, but what I do know is the creators of the show wanted to serve the story, and the story for them is fully rounded with a brown-skinned woman as the mom. And I was like, all right, cool, if that's what you guys want, and it does serve what we're doing, and I hope everybody sees it and they get it, and I'm loving it. Not everybody's a monolith, you know, as Black women, and I think sometimes we're tucked in a jar and not allowed to explore. So my character Alicia went on a commune, was a hippie for 15 years, lived in this utopian space, and comes out, and she actually also went to Berkeley Law School. So there's this aspect of life I think we don't get to play with as Black women. We're always strong, we're always this one thing, and I feel like I get to at least present it to the world something else.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I kind of felt like they wanted these to be some of the topics on the blog sites. They wanted that so people would be so more engaged to watch. Like, what's going on? What's the controversy? Like, I want to know why they made this drastic change. Who knows? All I do know is, you know, I've never watched Blackish, Grownish, or Mixish, but I do feel like all of those shows are probably good for people that want to see themselves on TV. They want to see people that look like them, and they want to find someone that they can relate to. So kudos to them for that. You guys, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below. We all know ourselves that Tika is in a relationship with a white man, so maybe this show is very helpful for her child who will be growing up into a biracial home, or maybe to her friends and family who do not quite understand her relationship. As she stated in an interview I'm closing with, she wants this to start a conversation, to strike a nerve, so that everyone can be on one accord, or so they can get different perspectives when it comes to biracial and mixed households.
I hope that we hit a nerve, whether it's good or bad, and I hope it makes people think, and then I hope it also makes you laugh at yourself and maybe hopefully change some kind of thought process that you have, but it's to start a conversation.